Hey everybody, Sean James here. I'm here with Joe Robinette, and we are up in north central Ontario, and it's January 12th. It is, and we're gonna winter camp. So we're up here for 2 nights. First night we're going to actually end up tarping, doing a tarp setup, and I'm gonna sleep in my bivvy because we've been snowshoeing for like 4 hours and we just haven't found that beautiful. You've seen my videos before where I have these. I'm always looking for that perfect campsite and end up hiking right till dark and then panicking to get a campsite set up. Stay tuned. You're going to enjoy this video. We're going to cook some cool meals. We're going to build a Quinzhee and sleep in that. Some other cool things that you haven't seen and some beautiful scenery we're going to show you. So stay tuned, and once again, thanks for clicking on the button and thanks for watching. Hey guys, we got lazy, like I said, and we're going to camp in this hemlock grove. Joe's setting up the tarp. He's going to sleep under a tarp tonight, and I'm going to just lay out my bivvy somewhere and get comfortable, a little bed nestled in the snow here, and that's it. Get a fire going and cook a meal and call it an early night. I think we're pretty tired, both pretty tired.
I am.
Yeah. So you'll notice the footage of me and Joe coming in. I was actually pulling a sled, even though I have my backpack here. So the plan when we came up here was that I was going to just backpack, and I was going to wear my traditional snowshoes, those modified bear paw, traditional wood shoes, which gives me more loft on top of the snow. This pack, including my camera gear, is about, I think it's about 50 pounds. That was 42 pounds last week, and I've got a little bit heavier food this time and a few other things. So unfortunately, or fortunately, the area that we're in is really hilly, like cliffs. Like it's really hilly, and there's a lot more snow here than I thought there was going to be. It's actually probably 3 feet in some areas. So it wasn't practical really to wear this. First of all, those snowshoes. So when I took those snowshoes off and went with the modern snowshoe, they don't give me much loft. So instead of wearing this heavy pack on my back, I ended up bringing in the good old jet sled here, which it's pretty wide, but it turned out pretty well, or it actually worked out pretty well for me on this trip because people had walked part of the trail on the way in and they weren't wearing snowshoes, so it was a very narrow trail and it was deep, and our sleds were kind of tipping and Joe's kept flipping right over. Actually, it's a little narrower, and I found that this sled actually stayed upright the whole time, so I was happy I had it. It's a bit of a pain in the butt walking through the thick trees and everything with it, but I think it's worth it. I think I would have really struggled with this backpack in this deep snow. So this is a 75-liter pack. I'll show you what's in it later as I unload it. Like I said, I'm bivvy camping, so it's all in this pack. And so when I get to this campsite, I'll show you my fire pit over here, our fire pit. I don't rush to get a sleeping area set up because I can do that. I could literally just flop that out and lay in it at even in the dark, but I can't really safely collect firewood and get a fire going. So when I get to a camp and I'm bivvy camping, first thing I do is start working on the fire pit in the fire area, collecting firewood. So I'll show you that right now. One of the difficulties in the winter is finding a decent fire pit because you can't see where the roots are in the ground. It's hard to find rocks to line your fire pit with. In traditional or typical Canadian shield, there's a lot of exposed bedrock. So I typically look for a slight incline like this, or a fairly steep incline. It's not very high, but it's fairly steep. That usually is a sign of a rock, exposed rock. So sure enough, I started clearing the snow away, and we've got some good rocks here. Only a couple of small visible roots, and I can cut those out so we can get a nice big fire going right here. And all the snow that I'm clearing out here is actually perfect for making a bench. So instead of carrying a chair in the winter, I just make some chairs or benches out of out of snow, and they pack down nicely, and then I can put a thermarest pad on there to keep my butt warm. Alright, we got our fire pit ready to go over here. Joe's again relaxing, like candy and water.
You knew what you were getting into.
I'm going to unpack my bag. Sun is still pretty high in the sky. The time is like 2:30 or something?
Yeah, 2.
2 only. So we have lots of time. So we got lots of firewood here too. So we're going to buck that up and get a fire going. So I'm going to unload my gear here. I'll show you quickly what's in it. I mentioned that 75-liter Osprey backpack. It's not actually, last year when I used this, it does have an H2O, like a water bladder compartment here. I'm not using it this year. But anyway, it's there.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. It's a really cool pack. I like this one. It was on sale last year's model, so it's probably even cheaper this year. The top section, I have all my camera gear. This is the top pillow top, or whatever they call it. Water bottle at this time of year. It's pretty stubborn about this for years and just made do with not insulating it. And I see this year I actually have an empty one. That's perfect. It's exactly what I meant to bring. So I'm thirsty as hell, and I'm gonna have to get a fire going and melt some water. But the good thing is I got like a cool sticker on there, so I don't really need water. Stupid. Got my Thule radar cap spare. Wool cap's actually pretty cool. It's 100% merino wool, and it's got this little bill. I like that. Don't have to wear glasses as often when I have a hat brim. So that's why I like wearing these Tillies, and that's pretty cool for winter hunting. It's really warm. So that's a spare top section because I stuck the food in here. This pack's been packed since last week when I went up to Temagami. So everything was still in the bottom, so just stuck my food on top. Just grabbed a couple of butt chops out of the freezer on the way because I realized I'm going to be burning a lot more calories than I anticipated. This is... I'm going to stump these on the ground for the chickadees. We're trying to feed the chickadees here. That's peas and carrots. And whenever you have leftovers, throw them in your dehydrator in the oven. Just let them sit there all night and dehydrate. Not a lot of calories, so it's not real functional on a trip, but you know, if you're out for a few days and you're really wearing yourself down, the extra like vitamins and minerals and vegetables is good. Not really doing it for calories. Food bag, got my earth sack, only for convenience because it's sturdy. It's not going to break open on me. I'm not worried about animals this time of year, although it would keep chipmunks, squirrels out if they were around. Face cream, don't laugh. I make this stuff literally out of pork lard, like lard that I make from pork fat, and put some other like boil spruce tips in here, and I actually use it as a cold barrier cream. So I put it on my face. That's why I'm so look so beautiful and soft skin.
Not the words I would have used.
No, that's exactly what Joe was thinking. He had another use for this. And
extra butter.
Anyway, that's a cool idea. There's some company, I forget what they're called now, but they're actually marketing like a cold barrier cream, and they want you to put it all over your body at like $10 too. But it's great on your face. It'll actually protect. I've been out in like -30, and I put this stuff on thick, so it's a little bit glossy. But anyway, it stops me from getting frostbite. It's pretty cool. There's the whiskey.
Camping with Joe.
Again, camping with Joe. Yeah, you know I don't drink at all, but Joe makes me drink. Quinzhee building. Read my article though. Go to my website and look up the Quinzhee, how not to die or how not to die of hypothermia or something. I have a 5-part story that I wrote on there about how when I was 17 I almost died because I was not wearing the proper gear when I was making that Quinzhee. So I really highly suggest you check that out. So that's all waterproof stuff. And I'll strip everything else down so I'm not sweating when I'm doing that. Got my my overnight pack. I like to bring extra gear in a little pack like this, a day pack, because if we go out hiking, I don't have to bring my big pack yet. I have a small pack that I can use to stick my camera gear and other stuff. In there I've got my spare clothing, I've got my puffy jacket, which is going to go on later when it gets cold. And here I've got my cook set, reduced it down to just a pot and a cup, essentially, and you know, fire starter. Actually, I have some pemmican in there as well, so emergency food. That little classic axe from Halta is good for, we're going to start splitting up this wood shortly. I didn't bring a knife, or brought a little knife, I guess, for wild game, but we're not going to be doing that on this trip, so I'm going to use that essentially as a knife. Just a little bag of paracord, always is in my bag somewhere. Got some extra gloves here. And here's the bulk of this bag is this. That is my sleep system. You've seen that before, but I'll show it again later. Flip it open. So I've got my bivvy. In this case I have a bivvy, a Thermarest all seasons, a Neo Air all seasons sleeping pad, Mech Thor Windstopper minus 30 degrees Celsius sleeping bag, and the sleeping bag liner, so all, and a pillowcase. So all of that's inside here. So I'm going to just throw that out when I'm getting ready for bed, and I'll pump that pad up. These are cool. If you haven't used these or seen these, then just have a tarp and a ground sheet in there that I'm not going to use. So these are my little mech. These are down booties, and they're great around the camp, especially in a Quinzhee. You take your boots off and let them dry out and air out. The only problem with them, sitting around the campfire, they do burn very, very easily because they're lightweight, but they're good away from the camp. That's it. Like I said, I got lazy and brought a sled to put it all in. I want to show you this sleeping pad real quick. It's a Thermarest Z-Lite. It's got the reflective coating on one side, so it's to reflect the heat back up into your body. It's closed cell foam, so it doesn't absorb moisture, and it's actually pretty effective as a sleeping pad. It's more in the summer or like spring, fall, but this time of year I use it as a secondary pad underneath my bivvy. And it's straps to the outside of the backpack, so it's not a big deal to carry it. But what they're really good for is sitting on. If you're sitting directly on the snow, it get pretty cold. But this really protects you from the cold. Does a good job of keeping your body warm. So I'll sit on it right here for the night in front of the fire, and then at bedtime I'll slip it back under the bivvy there. Got my deer backbone here. You only get so much out of it, but in this way we just pick at it, cook that meat up and pick at it and get some calories out of it.
Yeah.
Smoky.
Have some back.
Thanks. Mmm.
That's smoky. Got a little refreshment for after too.
Whiskey Fireside Chat.
Fireside chat.
When I say I'm going to cold camping, this is what I'm talking about. It's not exactly cold. We have a nice fire. I always look for that backstop like this. Joe does too. And we had the opportunity to be here early enough that we could mound the snow up around the perimeter and create these little benches, which is really cool. So it's like, I don't know what the temperature is. It's probably getting down below minus 10, 15 maybe even. Like I haven't even put my warm jacket on yet. It's actually pretty toasty in here. Gonna do something that I've done a couple of times. It's called sous vide. It's a French term if you wanted to label this instead of just calling it food in a bag. But this is pork and beans that I made it like a few months ago and just threw a bunch of packages like this in the freezer. There's like 800-900 calories in this little bag.
You cook it in the bag.
Yeah, I cook it in the bag. So instead of opening that up and burning it in the bottom of your pot because you're on a hot fire, I got water boiled here. Literally put it in there. That'll form once it starts melting a little bit, and it'll heat right through. It'll be even heat, no burning, nothing to worry about. Take it out, eat it out of the bag, or put it in the pot.
What do you? That's like a vacuum seal bag.
Yeah.
So BPA free then.
Yeah, or you can buy the freezer bags that are BPA free as well. So you don't have to spend the money of vacuum sealing it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Hey everybody, we're heading to bed. It's just about 10 o'clock. Beautiful full moon. Nice warm fire, but it's starting to get cold, and it's that time. So good night, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on some morning in winter, and too warm last night. I kept pants on, a 2 pair of socks, and my wool shirt on my upper body, and then a hat, and it was inside my liner and my sleeping bag, and lower body especially was just too warm. I should have taken layers off, but once you get in and get comfortable, it's hard to have the energy and motivation to strip down a little bit. I should have. Anyway, it was still fairly comfortable. Got 10 hours of sleep, almost 10 hours of lying down at least. But we're gonna make some breakfast here and go check out a couple of spots to make a Quinzhee today. Hopefully this wind dies down a little bit for us. I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night, and the fire was going pretty good at that point. Just a few big logs that were still burning away, and it actually, there's quite a few coals still, hot coals still left in it this morning. So that's always nice to be able to get the fire going fast because the ground's still warm and the coals ignite pretty quickly. Alright, so we're up on the top of this hill. It's a little bit windy up here, and the wind chill, actually they were saying minus 31 Celsius with the wind chill today, and I believe it. I'm feeling it on my face. Wind's coming out of the north here, funneling down through these mountains. Beautiful scene though. Like, we wouldn't, if there was a survival situation or a long-term camp or something, I'd certainly build something down in the valley, but how can you resist the scenery? Like, you can't see in the camera, but high mountains all around us. Yesterday when we walked up through this valley, there's a bald eagle perched in the tree right there. Like, it's just a beautiful spot. So we're going to fight the cold and build a nice shelter here, and a nice spot to get out of the wind, and show you what it's like to sleep in a Quinzhee. It's really cool. You're going to like this. So we're back at camp at 11:50, and we're just gonna have some lunch. We finished mounding up the snow, packing it down, putting the sticks in the Quinzhee, and the sun's coming around. It's gonna hit that, starting to hit the Quinzhee now, so it's hopefully gonna solidify the outside surface. It's cold, so it's conditions are a little bit tricky. The snow is getting pretty granular. I want to make one point about ambition in the winter, when you're winter camping. I don't know how many times I've done this. I lay out a map or a plan, a trail that I want to take in the winter and think, oh, I'm going to do like 8 kilometers, 15 kilometers, whatever. Like 5 to 10 miles. And had a great spot we were headed for yesterday and just didn't make it. Snow conditions were too rough. You can't go the distance you think you can. So here it is, it's noon already. We got up. By the time you boil your water, get your campfire going, collect more firewood if you need it. Just settle in, warm up, get motivated to put the cold rock hard boots on again, and then head out. So we went and started that Quinzhee, but we're back at camp now, and we're so glad that we have this camp. So where in the summer you've seen me, I don't stop. I want to go, never spend more than one night at a campsite. In the winter, it just makes so much more sense because you're spending so much time setting that camp up. It's nice just to stay and enjoy it. This fire pit's actually getting even cooler as we use it. The rock's all exposed and it's reflecting heat back at us. Benches are comfortable, so you can spend some time here.
Yeah, this is like a safe place.
Yeah, it's our safe place. Yeah, no matter how foolish we get back in the woods there, we can come back here, warm up, and survive. I've got rice and mystery something, I don't know. Thought maybe chili, but no, it's not chili. It's probably it's looking a little suspect, to be honest. I'm gonna try that tonight and we'll find out what it is. Stay tuned for the big surprise, the big unveiling. Alright, so lunch is over. Waited 2.5 hours since we piled that snow up for the Quinzhee. And all warmed up and well fed. Got some tea in me. Yeah, the sun's out, but it's still cold. It's like only like minus 14 Celsius, but it feels a lot colder than that for some reason. It's actually, the wind has calmed down, so the wind chill's gone, but I think we're just getting a little chilled from sitting around, so it should be good to get up there and start digging this Quinzhee out. 2.5 hours should have set up pretty good, but we're soon to find out. If it crumbles after all that work, could be in a bit of trouble that we won't be sleeping in that tonight. Alright, we're back at the Quinzhee. It's 2:30. We finished piling the snow and packing it down and sticking the thickness gauge sticks in there at probably 11:30. So 3 hours it's been setting up. Should be good. We're gonna see. It feels pretty granular, so I'm not sure it's gonna be ideal, but let's start digging it out and seeing what it's like. But sunny day, and we both left our sunglasses back in the truck. So little tip, if you're going out in the snow, you don't want to carve little Inuit sunglasses out of wood with little slits in them. Good idea to bring your sunglasses, even though it's winter. It's not the first thing on your mind a lot of times. But the wind chill is cold up here too, but we're gonna work up a sweat in a minute here. Rain pants on, got a nylon jacket that sheds the water. Even that might not be enough. I'll throw on my rain jacket as well. The liners, getting rid of those and putting some waterproof gloves on. So waterproof, but still light, and with this wind, I shouldn't work up too much of a sweat. And then when I finish up, I'll immediately take this stuff off and put my warm gear back on. So let's give this a shot. This is where you get wet and potentially create some danger. If you're in there, I mean, look, covered in snow, that starts melting on you because you're building up some heat from your body overworking, and gets pretty dangerous because that's going to freeze on you later, especially if you're doing this in the afternoon like we are. By the time the evening rolls around, temperatures drop so fast and you're still wet, so make sure you dress properly. I'm going to put my rain jacket on like that too, and even my hood. In. All right, I'm in the Quinzhee. We're got both of our setups in here. Got our sleeping bags and our pads and everything. It's cozy, a little tight, but we're fine with that. Even the camera's starting to fog up a little bit, so heat builds up quickly. If you keep the walls fairly thick, so we've got 12 inches in a lot of spots down to around 6 inches at the thinnest. And because we're on a slope, the cold air is really settling down outside of the Quinzhee. There's no cold air flowing in here at all. In fact, we're going to quickly glaze the surface of this ice as our body heat starts to crystallize the snow. So it's going to make this a lot more sturdy, a lot more solid, and no danger of it collapsing. Even if it did collapse, it's only, like I said, 6 inches, 12 inches of snow above our heads, so we'd be able to easily sit up and bear that amount of weight. So we're not worried about it from a safety point. And because we don't have a candle in here, there's not even any exhaust to get rid of, so it's pretty safe, comfortable, out of the wind, retains some body heat, and a little tighter than I wanted to be with Mr. Robinette for the night, but I'll have to deal with it.
Are you decent?
Would you like me not to be?
Okay. We're in the Quinzhee. Maybe you can see we're a little foggy and
Because it's so hot in here.
so warm. I literally don't even feel like I should leave my camera in here.
Does this fog up so badly?
Well, it's just it's gonna freeze solid.
What's it gonna do outside? All right, everybody, you hear this rambling guy beside me here?
Good night.
Good night.
I'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Yeah, good night. That's it. We'll do better next video.
Oh my god.
Morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, and still in the Quinzhee here. Had a good sleep. Made it all the way through the night. Didn't have to get out to go pee, which is nice when it's minus 30. But now, the reality of getting up and going out into the cold, half dressed to get ready for the day. Waking up to some clouds this morning. Beautiful full moon last night and a crisp sunny day yesterday. Not a cloud in the sky, but that's changed. Weather's starting to change to flurries for the day, but we're staying pretty cold. But this is a nice view to wake up to. Really happy with this choice of campsites for the night, and the Quinzhee worked out fantastically. It's very warm in there. Didn't have my thermometer. I wanted to check that temperature, but at least 10, maybe 20 degrees Celsius warmer than the outside temperature, especially with two of us in there and a low ceiling. Very, very comfortable. All right, gonna record a goodbye right now, guys, in case my fifth battery dies from this cold. It's hard to keep your batteries from dying fast when it's far below freezing. Pull my gear out. We're gonna make some breakfast and pack up and head out. Been a great trip. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. hemlocks are my favorite trees. Literally walking through a forest, sometimes you get that feeling like sort of an emotional response, and just you don't even know why, but you get this. It's hard to explain unless you've actually felt it. But you're walking through and you just feel warm and cozy and. And,
I don't feel warm or cozy.
Not warm or cozy. Anyway,
take 2.
Irreparable. Is that a word?
Yeah.
It is a word.
I like
Does it mean what I think it means? Irreparable? Irreparable? I think it means what I think it means. You're not answering because you don't know.
All right, everybody, you hear this rambling guy beside me here? Oh my God.
The rambling man.
Look how hot it is in here. I've got like a big snowball or root in my back here because I can't get into my bag. But this is like cozy. You guys should really recommend this. Don't bother with a hot tent. Just Quinzhee it every
Don't
time.
bring Joe either. Oh, this is all fucked, eh?
That's okay. It's to the drama.
Drama. Okay.
It's like minus 100. It's about minus. We're gonna say minus 30 Celsius.
I can't even focus. I can't say that.
I like it. It has effect.
My stuff's all jacked. Okay. We're in the Quinzhee. Maybe you can see we're a little foggy. And
because it's so hot in here.
It's so warm. We're toasty as F in here. And
good night.
We're in the Quinzhee. Sorry about the steam on the lens. I can't do much about it. This is how it is. It's so warm that I don't feel like it's even winter anymore. That might be a lie. Good night.
Good night.
I'll see you in the morning if I don't die.
All right, we're in the Quinzhee and we're loving it. It's it's a little cozy. Couple more people in here would be.
I think a dog at the foot of our bed would be alright. No?
Yeah, we built it a little small, so it's a little low. Not bad for length, I guess, but it's a little low, and we're making do. So the only problem is a little bit sloped. We put it on.
Good night.
Yeah, good night. That's it. Good night. We'll do better next video.
Oh my God.
Next.
Oh my God. I literally don't even feel like I should leave my camera in here.
Does this fog up so badly?
Well, it's just it's gonna freeze solid.
What's it gonna do outside?
Well, it's in the snow in here. Are we pissing on it?